Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have another fun Halloween card to share with you today. So I'm using Jaded Blossom's card mat dies, their candy corn stencil, their gnome dies, their rounded rectangle internal scallops, their Corny Halloween with outline dies, gnome dies Spooky Add Ons, and their gnome dies Halloween Add Ons. And this is the stencil, and I already ink blended that on the September 2023 release and review. Check that out. And then as for that little gnome, I put that together on the Gnome Dies Spooky Add Ons assembly video. So check that out. So I'm using P13 Stamping Pad Skin Tones, Gingham Linen from Doodlebug, and Doodlebug's Ghouls and Goodies, along with their Floral Graph Pad. Okay, so first I'm going to cut my stenciled background with the card mat dies from Jaded Blossom. There we go. Ran it through my Anna Griffin mini Empress machine. And I used the second largest of those rounded rectangle internal scallop dies to cut out that orange frame. The orange is Canyon Clay Paper Tray Ink cardstock. So I'm going to pop down my ink blended background using some ATG tape and some Barely Art glue. For ink blending that background, I did use Distress Oxide ink and Mustard Seed, Spiced Marmalade, and Lost Shadow. But like I said, you could watch me do that on the September 2023 release and review. Okay, so this is a paper tray ink Canyon Clay A2 size card base, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder. I'm just going to add a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock to the inside, 4 by 5.25 inches. There we go. Then I have a 1-inch strip of pattern paper. It just has candy corn all over it. That is from an old pad of Doodlebug Ghouls and Goodies, but you could use any pattern paper on the inside. I just chose to use this one. And I will trim off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There we go. Kind of fun, right? And I'm just going to reinforce that fold. So I'm going to stick down this rounded rectangle internal scalloped die with some score tape. And what I'm going to use is some vellum. And this vellum is called CTI Glamour Translucent. It's just a lightweight vellum. So I'm peeling off my score tape, and then I'm going to stick it down onto this vellum. And I'll trim off the vellum behind the frame with a pair of scissors. I'm just trying to make my background a little less busy. You'll still see the candy corn, but I want it to be kind of like, you know, ethereal and faded out behind my little gnome. So there we go. And now that will kind of dull my background a little bit. But I'm going to add more of that score tape, because remember, any kind of adhesive that you put behind vellum will show. So I like to hide my adhesive. So this is 1/8 of an inch score tape. And I'm actually going to put some sequins behind this little vellum piece, just for fun. It'll move around a little bit, but not too much. So I chose yellow and orange sequins from Queen & Co. And I'm just putting the little hearts and the little stars in it. I'm also going to use a Pretty Pink Posh marshmallow, what's it called? Marshmallow confetti mix. That's what it's called. So it's sort of like a, you know, like a white shiny sequins that I'll put in there as well. I'm just sort of spreading them out nice and flat, because remember, there's no room for these to shake. So if they might move a little bit, but they're going to stay pretty much in place. So I'm just picking them up with that Studio Katia embellishment wand. I'm just sort of placing them just to make it easy, because I'll be sticking down that vellum piece right on top. So there we go. So quickly just doing that. And then these are the little Pretty Pink Posh marshmallow confetti mix. So I'm adding a few of those on the inside as well. It's hard to pick up sequins with your hands, right? They're kind of like staticky, you know, so they sort of stick to things. So there we go. And now I will stick down that rounded rectangle internal scallop. That's the second largest one. And there we go. So you can sort of see it if you're looking. Now I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside. So I'm just going to line it up in my MISTI. And I'm taking this sentiment from that Corny Halloween without line dies. I'm going to line that up. And I will stamp it in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I love to use my MISTI to do this kind of thing, just because that way I can stamp it a few times to make sure I get a perfect stamped sentiment. And there we go. So now I did pull out my Sweet and Spooky Odds and Ends. And I just pulled out some candy. And I'm going to add that to the inside of my card. Remember, a lot of Doodlebug stuff match, so, you know, you can easily sort of blend old stuff with new stuff. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to stick these all down, keeping it nice and flat with my reverse tweezers. This little candy has a candy corn as a picture. And then I'm going to add one last little one, which will be an actual candy corn. There we go. So it just kind of goes with what I've got going on the front, right? Lots of candy. So now I'm pulling out my Secure White Jelly Roll pen in a number 10, and I'm going to add a few little bold white highlights. I just find it adds a little something when things are flat, you know, like these odds and ends from Doodlebug. And, you know, it kind of, I don't know, I just think it makes it pop a little bit more, right? So that's why I use that white Jelly Roll pen. It's kind of my favorite one too. That's the one that I always reach for. And there we go. So you do have to let that dry though, because it will smudge until it dries. So there we go. So now I'm going to quickly put together this little candy corn, and that is from the I don't know if that's the Gnome Dies I think they're the Gnome Dies Halloween Add Ons. So remember, you can check out there's an assembly video for this, but this is how I'm putting it together. Doodlebug's floral graph paper on the floral side for the yellow. The orange is Canyon Clay from Paper Tray Ink, and the white is just white from Paper Tray Ink. Now this little hand is cut from P13 Stamping Pad Skin Tones. And remember, you can get that pad from Jaded Blossom now. So if it's not in stock, you know, hit the notification button. So there we go. I'm going to add my little Boo glasses, and that's going to be the sentiment on the front of my card. And I'm going to have him holding that adorable little candy corn. I did pop it up, but for this part, I'm going to stick it flat down onto my card base or my card front. So I'm just going to have that on the lower part of that rounded rectangle. And there we go. So I'll stick him down. Isn't he cute? And there's the inside. So now I am pulling out Doodlebug's Puffy Icon stickers. They're the Sweet and Spooky ones. And there's some really cute little candy corn in this set. I'm going to use my pen blade, and I'm going to pick them up just because my nails are terrible. I can never pick anything up with my nails. I'm just going to do a visual triangle with them. There we go. Kind of fun, right? And I will pull out a couple of the stars as well. There's, you know, a little orange one and a little yellow one, and I'm going to stick those onto my little candy corn, and then that is it. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on these adorable products. And thank you as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and come back and watch another one. Bye everybody.